and welcome to Small Town Big Business, a podcast about doing big business in small town rural America. I'm Jennifer Olson, and I'm the Director of Business Development here in the city of Marion, Illinois, and I'm here with my co-host.
Yes, I'm Russell Williams. I'm Director of Ethos. We're a small business incubator, co-working spaces. We do training and development for small businesses and nonprofits here in downtown Marion, Illinois, where you're joining us today in the Citadel building. Thank you for joining us, and thank you to our sponsors for making this possible. Our sponsors are Arcadia Wealth Group, Banterra Bank, Black Diamond Harley-Davidson and RV, Fowler Heating and Cooling, the Southern Illinois Now, Swinford Media Group, Union Street Arts, and the Watermark Auto Group Foundation. Special guest is a super busy person. It's not Santa Claus, but this time of year, the business is hopping, right?
Yeah, so I'd like to introduce our audience to Josh Judge, Judge Services. I feel like I've known you forever and kind of watched some evolution that's happened over the years, but tell us from your seat at the table, your origin story to where you are now.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for having me, first of all. This is really fun. So I started Judge Services back in 2014, just out of my garage. And I kind of fell back on some trades that I'd learned growing up working for a company back home in my hometown of Olney, Illinois. I worked for a company doing painting, pressure washing, and things like that. So after I got my degree from SIU, actually a couple of degrees that I'm not using, decided to fall back on the trades and start my own thing. And so I just started off with painting and pressure washing. And then, I always envisioned it being a solo operation, only just doing it myself. But it kind of grew over time. Now we offer the Christmas light installation service, and that started as something to keep my help busy throughout the fall and winter, and it's evolved into its own beast. So from the end of September all the way through the middle of December, we are 100 miles per hour because we're still doing the exterior cleaning, the pressure washing, and then we have 3 crews going with Christmas lights all the time. So it's, busy time of year.
So 10 years altogether.
Yes, we celebrated 10 years this last March.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So from being a I can never say that word. Solopreneur.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. To where you are now, how many employees, how many vehicles, all of that?
As of this morning, 13 employees.
Wow.
And vehicles, I don't even know. Honestly, I think like 7 or 8. But it's come a long way, and my why has shifted over the years, and now it's more about our mission is to provide a superior customer experience for our customers while building opportunities for our team. So that's where we're at today.
You mentioned that you really started this business from what you had learned and experienced growing up. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so like I said, I grew up doing painting and pressure washing for another company, and when I decided to go out on my own, I started to just do a little bit of market research to see what other competitors were in the area and what they looked like, what their online presence was like. And I could kind of see that there was a little bit of a gap and an opening for me to make my mark. So when I was still working my 9-to-5 job in Carbondale, working for a print shop, on the side, I started building my own website and doing my own SEO and started building it up. And while I was still working at that job, I started to get phone calls for painting and pressure washing, and I hadn't even really started the business yet.
Yeah.
So once I saw that it was going to start gaining steam, I started accruing a little bit of work on the side, and then just dove in head first, just went full time with it.
Yeah.
So I mentioned kind of watching you evolve, and I feel like you're a good early adapter of technology, like sending your clients ID badges of who to expect and some of your digital follow-up. And honestly, in a world where people are so busy working in their business, they don't stop to work on their business. Like, how do you keep up with those trends? How do you get them executed? How do you even select what helpful aids for you, your team, and your clients?
Yeah. You just have to make a lot of mistakes. You do. You just got to make mistakes and try things out and figure out what works. I've from the beginning, I've tried to use technology to our advantage to help streamline things, make things more efficient, and more importantly, communicate with our customers, because I feel like that's one of the biggest shortfalls of a lot of trades industries, is that they focus a lot on doing the thing, cleaning the thing or building the thing, and they don't realize that their customer's experience is really what's going to propel them forward. So we've kind of doubled down on things that you mentioned, like customer communication, things like having our employees background checked and then sending that information to our customers ahead of time, automating the, hey, we're on our way, just to let you know, hey, we're finished at the job, in case like the homeowner is at work, just to let them know whenever we're on or off their property. We can send them before and after pictures. Our technicians they take a lot of pride in their work, so they're always taking before and afters of the properties that they clean and things like that. And so we can send those to our customers. We try to utilize technology in all those ways as much as we can.
Where does that high tolerance for risk come from? That attitude that I make mistakes, but I can learn from those mistakes, because that's really where many entrepreneurs exit the small business startup.
Yeah, well, I can tell you I've considered leaving. There's been many a day where I've just thought to myself, okay, I'm out. What can I get for all these trucks and stuff? I need to find something else to do, but it's really just sleeping on it, taking a deep breath and realizing that this is what I want to do, and there's no way I'm going to go back to working for someone else. And so, but there's definitely been a lot of hard times, so it's not easy. But the pursuit of growth is what kind of keeps me going, and my why being my family, my wife and my kids, and wanting to build something that will allow me to have some freedom, both with a future that I can build for my kids, and just having time for them now, while they're growing up is really, really important.
So who supports you in that push to keep going?
My wife, Melissa, definitely, and my kids unknowingly push me to do that.
That's awesome.
So, how do you stomach living in a world where social media and reviews are just so key and sometimes so painful?
Yeah, it's a brutal world out there in the online world. Well, first, for social media, I'm very much a introvert. I don't post a lot of stuff. I'm not online a lot, and if it weren't for my business, I probably wouldn't be online at all. But it's certainly a necessary evil these days to be online and be on social media and have that online presence, so the community knows you're there, knows what you're doing. So that's been a little bit awkward for me. I used to do it more. I should do it more, make videos, do more posts, but I just like to stay in my box as much as I can. But like I said, it's a necessary evil to get out there, promote your business, and be online as much as possible. And then as far as reviews, you just have to do a really good job. And whenever you do make mistakes, because you have to do everything you can to fix those mistakes and let the customer know that you're not just on to the next, that you want to make sure that they're happy with their experience. So a part of that is making sure that we follow up with every customer after the job has been completed. So not just assuming that because we received a check and we got paid for a job that everything went well. If we were come to wash your home, we would call you the next day and say, hey, we just want to double check. Did we miss anything? Is there anything else we could have done better? And that helps the customers know for sure that we're there for them, not just for the money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So are you on all the time, or have you found a rhythm? That's a family question there too, right?
You mean like, am I on the business all the time? No, I'd say in the last few years I've found a little bit of a cadence where, well, I used to in the beginning, the dining room table was my office, and so my computer, my laptop was always out. We'd be having dinner and I'd be eating and also working on quotes, following up with people, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And now that I have a team behind me, I don't feel necessary to do that all the time. So whenever I go home, I don't get on my computer anymore. I try to stay off my phone, lock myself out of all apps, during family time until the kids go to bed at least. And so it definitely doesn't come natural. It's hard. It's hard to do, especially whenever you have so much to think about.
What have you learned about yourself and your business as you've added more people, as you've added more business, and you've let them have some authority and control?
Yeah, it's that you got to put some trust in your team and be okay with them making mistakes. And that's really, really hard in the beginning whenever you go from being the person who is doing everything, there's a specific way that I want to do things, but if you want to have any time freedom, you have to delegate and you have to let those team members of yours make mistakes and make sure that they know that you're okay with them making mistakes. Because if they don't, then they're going to come to you every 5-10 minutes with, hey, what should I do here? What should I do here? And if you give them that freedom, tell them, listen, I trust you to make the best decision possible. If you have questions about it, come to me after the fact, and we can talk about whether or not, maybe we can make improvements on that in the future. But that's really what it's about. It's just having that strong team and then trusting them to make decisions for you.
So I don't know if you're still active in B&I, but I know you were at one time.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about kind of building your network and what resources or organizations that you're plugged into.
Yeah, certainly B&I is a huge help. Chamber of Commerce, just getting out and meeting people and shaking hands and letting people know what you do outside of your normal bubble. I guess that's the biggest thing is you get to introduce to other people. I think a lot of tradespeople will just get to know other tradespeople. Mm-hmm. And once you get out there and you learn other businesses, other business owners, you can open yourself up to a whole another world of opportunity. So again, that's not something that comes natural to me, as I prefer to stay in my little bubble. But again, if you want to grow, you've got to.
Mm-hmm. What's the percentage of how many corporate clients you have opposed to how many individual home clients that you have?
We're largely residential, so I would say we're probably 85% residential, 15% commercial at this time, but it tends to grow year over year, more so on the commercial side.
Yeah.
So we're growing at a healthy rate, I would say.
Yeah. And that probably comes not only from social media, but word of mouth.
Yes. Yeah,
even
for sure.
Social media is a word of mouth, right? You're like, who do you know?
Yeah, I would say social media is probably more so geared towards the residential person to person, and then the meeting people, networking, I think helps grow the commercial side of things.
And then how big is your region that you're servicing?
We service about an hour from Carbondale, so we'll go up to Mount Vernon is about the peak of how far we go north. We'll go over to Harrisburg, down to Vienna, Dongola, excuse me, and we've started to get into the Cape Girardeau, Jackson, Missouri area for the Christmas light season.
Right, and you're number one in that region, right?
Well, we try to be number one everywhere.
I'm trying to set you up. You are number one.
We've got a lot of strong competitors out there, or as we refer to them as other companies that offer the same services we do. But I'm a strong believer in the fact that we're only competing against the best version of ourselves. So I don't look at other companies online. I don't see what they're up to, because at the end of the day, it only matters how much we can do and how efficient we can be. So I really try to keep that in focus.
Mm-hmm. We have a lot of vacation rental homes here in Southern Illinois. The numbers add.
Yeah.
Jennifer knows about that.
Yeah.
Are the big client for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We've got a lot of commercial clients that are property managers that own several buildings, and once we establish a good relationship with them, it keeps us pretty busy.
So what kind of mentorships or training or things that you read, how do you keep yourself motivated and full of new ideas? And are there things that you do that you can roll out to your team?
Yeah. I've been in a lot of different coaching programs over the years. That's been a big part of our success and our growth is looking to what other people have already accomplished, looking to those other business owners that have already gotten to where we want to get, and then learning from them. And sometimes that comes with paying them money to tell you those things, but
Sure.
but there's also tons of online forums and groups that you can become a part of that do not cost you any money, but there's a lot of value in those coaching programs where you can get one-on-one time with people that are much smarter than you and are more successful than you and can help you shorten the time. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but yeah, kind of like bring you up to speed a lot quicker and help you avoid a lot of mistakes that you would otherwise make that they already have made. And so that's helped tremendously. So coaching programs and just friends and mentors that are also business owners have helped me tremendously. One friend of mine, Bennett Grove, is out of Indianapolis, and he grew a multi-million-dollar junk removal company.
Okay.
Just starting out with him and a buddy out of a truck. And so he helped me from very early on as a friend and mentor. He's one that he wouldn't let me give him any money to coach me, but he has been a tremendous help in our growth. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. You've mentioned some core values in your business already. Of course, that comes from you, I think.
Yeah.
So what other core values or qualities that you want your company to exhibit, you want your customers to see, you want your employees to do? Yeah.
We've got 4 main core values at Judge Services. So number 1 is radiate professionalism. So it comes with that communication, comes with our trucks looking professional, our attire, we're always in company clothes so that we look, sound, and act the best at all times. So that's number 1. Number 2 is integrity. We always want to do the right thing when no one's looking for our customers. So that may be, when we're up on a roof working on something, we are taking pictures for our customers to let them know of other damage that we've seen so that they can have it addressed, or a place where maybe the customer wouldn't be able to see on their own anyway. We still make sure to do the job right and clean the thing, whatever the case may be. Number 3 is take action. We want people on our team that are going to take action for a specific task, whether or not they feel like it falls within their particular job scope. If they see something that needs to be done, just take action and get it done. And then the 4th and most important in my book is extreme ownership. Jocko Willink, I don't know if you're familiar with him, ex-Navy SEAL, wrote an incredible book called Extreme Ownership with his friend Leif Babin, and it ties in a lot of war stories, but it also relates to general daily life and also business, and how if you take ownership of all of the issues and mistakes and problems that you have in your life instead of passing the buck and blaming it on other things, how powerful that can be. So, if someone in our company makes a small mistake, they mess up, we really encourage them to take ownership of that instead of saying, well, this guy didn't do this. It's on them. There's something they could have done to avoid that, or at least in the future, make it better. So taking ownership of themselves is a big part of Judge Services.
So I feel like I find power washing and painting very therapeutic because you have an instant result,
Yeah.
that you can see visibly. I still don't want to do it.
Yeah,
But
I was going to say you're hired.
I know. I don't want to do it, but I enjoy it when I do it.
Yeah.
But what are your favorite parts of your job, and what are the parts that you either don't want to do or you've already recognized you need to hire out, delegate out?
Yeah, well, you're exactly right. Everything that we do is very gratifying, because whether it's cleaning, we're showing up to a property that's really, really dirty, and then we leave, it looks brand new. So that's really gratifying. Christmas lights is obviously extremely gratifying because, it's a happy time of year, and most of our customers have never lit up their homes like we do. And so they see their homes in a whole new light, literally, and they love it. So painting is one of the things that when I started the business, that was my main service. And then over the years, I grew out of love with the service, and I didn't want to do it myself anymore. So we did away with the painting service for several years and grew the cleaning side of things. And now I've kind of realized that just because I don't like to do something doesn't mean it's not a service that we should offer. I can find the right people to do that service better than I can. And so that's one of the things that I've kind of come to terms with is just because I don't like to do it doesn't mean it's something that we shouldn't do.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you have a strategic plan for the future? Are you like, this is where we're going to grow?
We'll have to turn these mics off.
What can you tell us? This won't air for a few.
No, we're a home service company at the end of the day. We're not a pressure washing company. We're not a lighting company. We positioned ourselves branding wise as, a service company, just Judge Services. So there's really no limit to what we can grow into. I just want to make sure that as we grow and as we add on more services, that we don't lose the same customer experience and the same quality of work that we have right now. So we've got our eye on several other home services that we'll be going for in the future.
Do you think that you would consider buying other people out, or you would just start from scratch, kind of the way that you've learned to build it so far?
Both. I think growing by acquisition is certainly within our sights in the very near future. I'm looking for other small business owners that maybe a fairly small operation and they still enjoy doing the thing, doing the actual task, but don't necessarily enjoy running the business side of things, because I think that's where a lot of tradespeople fall off, is they go into business loving the thing. The E-Myth. Have you heard of that book before?
No, tell me.
The E-Myth is by author Michael Gerber, and it's the E-Myth is the myth that just because you like doing a thing that you should start a business doing that thing, and that it's the same thing. The entrepreneurial myth is the E-Myth, but I forget where I was going with that.
Just that there might be some opportunity to basically acquire some existing.
Yes. So other business owners that have went into business because they enjoy doing the thing and they get into it 3, 4, 5 years deep. That's typically the cutoff year, 5 or 10 years where maybe a business doesn't survive, and it's when they grow to the point where the business starts to be more than they were ready for. So those types of business owners is what I'm looking for, whether it's in heating and air or roofing or electrical or anything like that. That's something that we're certainly considering acquiring. But there's also a lot of smaller services that I feel like will be easy to bolt on.
Do you have any challenges for your business right now? Employment challenges or anything that you can think of?
No, never.
Yeah. No. We're trying to help people out.
Yeah. No. You hear it all the time about employment and hard to find hard workers and good workers. We've been very blessed. I mean, the crew that we have right now is exceptional. So it's just about, once you find those people, because they are out there, you got to keep them. You got to treat them right. So that's certainly been tough for us over the years. You'll always have people that think that they know how to do the business better and run it better than you are, and that may be the case in some ways. I'm certainly not a professional at this. I'm learning as I go, and I didn't get a playbook on how to do this appropriately. So I'm still learning. So I face challenges like that every day, and whether it's just keeping up that customer satisfaction or the growth. I mean, there's so many different things that I have to keep my eye on the ball all the time. So yeah, it's certainly challenging.
Yeah.
You have really good people, and there's so many people I could brag on, but I can't remember where we were, and I finally got to meet Dee in person.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
And I was just blown away, because not only is she the person who calls you to make sure you're happy, kind of any scheduling things that come up, but also she's a heck of a salesperson. I mean, she'll remind me that I need things that I didn't know I needed. So
she's great. I think that the customer service side of things is something that small business, especially trades, they put off for too long, because it's not an immediate revenue producing position. And so they don't see it as something that they need to invest in. But I decided early on that we're going to kind of double down on customer service and make sure that our customers are being communicated in that way, and the fact that she tries to upsell our customers, to remind them that they need their windows cleaned, things like that, doesn't hurt either. But she's just the quintessential sweet person that you want to hear on the other end of the phone whenever you call a business. The fact that we actually answer the phone or call you back.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
So that customer service is in-house. It's not
Yes.
a third party.
Yes. So during business hours, 8 to 4 every day, and she stays late a lot of days. So sometimes 8 to 5, you'll speak with Dee, but we get a lot of phone calls. Sometimes we can't answer all of them. So we do have a backup answering service that your phone call will go to. You'll still talk to a real person that'll take your information, and then as soon as Dee can't get back to you, she'll be the one to call you back, and that's 24 hours. So you can call our business 24 hours a day and speak to a real person.
That's excellent.
That's awesome. Anything that we haven't asked you that's just burning, and we try to send some pre-questions, but want to make sure that we give you the mic time that you were expecting?
No, I think that I appreciate you having me here. I think that what you're doing is really, really good for the community too. And I think one of your questions was about, what could I do to help if there's any small business owners out there that are in the trades that are maybe just, getting things going and they want to reach out to me. I'd be happy to ask questions or answer questions. That's one thing I've always tried to be good at. Even if they're in the same industry as me, I try to, be friends with and help out any other entrepreneurs or other businesses in the area. So I love talking shop. So happy to do it anytime.
That's
I'll
awesome.
take that. We both will. That's
Yeah.
excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you done podcasts before?
Yes, I've done a couple of them in the past. It's been a while though.
That's good.
So-
Well, you're sharp. I mean,
Well, thank you.
You've
I
got
appreciate it.
answers, and you mentioned authors that we didn't know. So I
Yeah.
think that's great.
Yeah, definitely the E-Myth that I mentioned, if there's any other entrepreneurs out there that are interested in looking for a book, if they haven't heard of that, that's one that kind of really opened my eyes because it's a lot about systems, creating systems in your business, because if you don't have systems, then you will get burnt out.
Yeah.
So that was one of the biggest turning points for me was reading the E-Myth. So
That's good. Well,
Yeah,
I will
for
call
sure.
upon you when we have entrepreneurs that need help.
Cool.
I appreciate that
Yeah,
very much.
absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt.
So glad that you could do this. And again, I've kind of seen on the sidelines your trajectory and your growth in 10 years, and I can't wait to see what happens in the next 10 and the 10 after that.
thank you. I really appreciate your support. Really do.
And how do people find your business and contact you?
You can find us on Facebook, Judge Services, or judgeservices.com. We'll take you right to our website, and or you can call us at 618-525-3406 and speak with Miss D and see how we can help you.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Our guest today is Josh Judge for Judge Services. So appreciate his time, his work here in Southern Illinois. We want to thank you for watching the Small Town Big Business podcast and thank our sponsors that include Arcadia Wealth Group, Banterra Bank, Black Diamond Harley Davidson and RV, Fowler Heating and Cooling, Southern Illinois Now, Swinford Media Group, Union Street Arts, and of course the Watermark Auto Group Foundation.
Thanks again for spending time with us. Please share this podcast with somebody who's interested in doing big business in small town rural America. And if they need any assistance, that's what we're here for. So I'm Jennifer Olson, Director of Business Development for the City of Marion. You can find me at City Hall, or all of my contact information is out on LinkedIn.
And I'm Russ Williams at Ethos at the Citadel. You can see me at ethosmarion.org. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much.